Alright y'all, so I'm back in the lab here again, this time installing my new transmission cooler that I posted about in my previous video. So it's the this model here, the 13504 Derale Performance Trans Cooler. It's the 8000 model, so the one that's in the center right there. A lot bigger than my previous model here, so if you can see it, there's that there. And I'm gonna show you how I fit it in there. It actually fit in pretty good. That's the old model, so see how small it is. And it was actually tied in through the AC condenser through those little trans cooler little cable ties that you push through there, and kind of messed up some of the fans there. It didn't leak or anything, but that's how small it was. But at least I had an external cooler. I had a Turbo 350 on it before, but this is how it came with that small cooler. But look into comparison right now. What I'll probably do is take a picture so you guys can see and post it either before this video or after, so you can see the difference. But I'm gonna show you how I mounted it in there, and it actually mounted fairly easy in there. So the previous trans cooler, again, it was just mounted right here, kind of like cockeyed, but the cables, it was holding it on through the cables that just went through the fans there and tied into the AC condenser there. So what I did, and it actually fits like in there like it's almost stock. So I took it out. I took out one of these cross braces here so I had more room. And if you can see here, I'll show you on this side. So you see that space, that gap here in between the condenser and the cross member, or the core support. It actually, my new cooler actually fit perfectly right down in there. And I'm gonna show you over here how I did it. So take you back over here. So on the cooler itself, if you can see, there's two sets of holes. There's two there and two there, so you can mount it. And if you can see on my core support, there's two holes here. There's one here and one here. And actually, this particular model almost fit perfectly where those holes were. So what I did, and I'm not looking for show, this isn't a show car or anything like that. I mean, I do take it to some shows in the summertime, but just for fun. But I just used a set of cable ties, cinched it down there, and cinched it down on the other side. And it actually fit really good. And as you can see, it's flush with the condenser. And on this side, you have this tube here that the oil feeds down, and it stops right there, and then this lip, or this cooler, goes down. But this tube actually stops right there, and then there's a little bumper support for the AC condenser, and this actually fit right on top of it. So that was actually perfect. It actually fit really perfect in there. And then this brace is holding it in. It's not touching though. And up here, it's not touching either. But as you can see, I just cable tied it right there, so it doesn't move. I mean, it's super sturdy. I'm shaking it, not moving at all. And these cross bars here actually are for the core support, so that it gives it a little bit more stability. And when I cinched the hose down on the cooler, I just zip tied it over, and that's good to go there. And the only where it's not secured is over here, but I mean, it's super tight, y'all. And what I actually have for my fans, I have this bungee here. Now I have it covered up with that little like corrugated plastic cover, so you can't even tell from the front. And then from here, or from when you look in the engine, you can't tell because it's covered up with that little plastic corrugated plastic covering for wires. But this is what I have actually holding a side or both sides of my electric fans. And from the front, you can't even see it. But what's kind of cool is when I'm gonna put the fans back in and I'm ready to cinch it back down, this right here, you see how it's like coming over? That is what's gonna hold the front, or this corner of my my cooler sturdy. And you know, it's not moving anyway, but it's gonna give it that little extra added support because I have this coming over here and hooked up to right here where the other one is. But as you can see, it's pulling on it right there. So that actually worked out perfect, y'all. And if you look at it from the front, shoot, it looks like it belongs in there. Let me see if I can get some light shining on it. If y'all can see it at all from the bottom, maybe. That's about as good as I can get it. Right in there. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it belongs in there. Here and here. And so I got the tubes running up here, and they come up right in here. So again, perfect. You know, again, not show or anything, but I mean, the motor's clean enough to take to a show. But yeah, man, it looks pretty good. So I just wanted to show you how I did it. I mean, there was no need to kind of make a how-to video, you know, of showing me doing it, just because literally I took off the grill, took out the other AC condenser, and just literally just sat that inside there, and it pretty much lined up perfectly. Didn't have to use any bumper like any of those little like rubber bumper stops or anything, because it's really not touching anything. So I mean, it's literally resting on the core support, and I got a cable tied down, and shoot, you can't even see it, you know, the cable ties or anything when the grill's going to be on. So yeah, that's it there. So this should be way more efficient for my 4L60E. I've done a lot of research on here and on these, and seen some videos of people running the same ones. It's not a huge cooler, but then again, it's not small. I don't race the car. It's mainly just kind of a cruiser and just for show, and I get on it every now and then. So that's what I got, y'all. That's what I'm doing, and just wanted to show y'all how I did it. All right, again, old cooler, new cooler. So I also got my gauge hooked up, y'all, which is my oil pressure gauge. Got that hooked up. Now, if you guys don't know, so I have it just mounted right there for right now until I actually get my other clean mount for it, so I can mount it up somewhere under the dash or in the glove box or whatnot. I still got two other gauges I need to hook up, like my wideband and possibly a boost gauge. So that's why it's sitting in the cup holder. But if you guys don't know, you have to get an adapter or rig your own up. So I got an adapter off eBay from Michigan Sports. It's a adapter that screws into the back of the block. It's just your general LS adapter. So it's an adapter, screws into the end of the block, and I think the socket size on it is like 1. But it has a 1/8 inch NPT thread in there, so you can hook up the sender on it as well, because the sender that comes with the gauge is an 1/8 inch NPT thread, and that screws into this the adapter. So you got the adapter, it has an 1/8 inch NPT female fitting, and then the male fitting on the sender is an 1/8 inch as well. Screws into there, and then you have your sender, and everything's good. So I have a wire hooked up to the sender, runs in to the firewall, through the firewall to my gauge, and the only other 2 wires that are hooked up to it is the 12 volt power wire. So when you turn, it's a keyed on switch, so when you turn the key on, it turns on the gauge. So you're hooked up to a 12 volt keyed on source and a good ground, and that's all you need, and it turns it on. It has a light on, has a light that you hook up to it as well, but I don't have the lights hooked up yet. So gauge is in there working. You turn the car on, it sits about 40 pounds. cold. So to my understanding, when these motors run cold, at least the 5.3, they kind of sit about 40 pounds, and then it should drop thereafter that, you know, somewhere right around 20 or so, 20, somewhere in there. I don't know exactly, but to my understanding, it's about 40-ish cold, and then it drops down a little bit after it warms up. So anyways, just wanted to let y'all know that that's hooked up as well. So my goal is to kind of get one thing done to it, or a couple hours of work in on it every day, especially on my days off, because a lot of times during the week I don't have time to work on it. But I was able to knock out 2 things, which is my gauge and my trans cooler. So that worked out well. All right, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all go, get in here and get something to eat, finish up some other stuff for work. Talk to y'all later. I'll be back. Stay tuned. Peace out.